Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover the exact, science-backed mechanical rules that are literally transforming people's bodies. Today, we're looking at a completely fascinating protocol that helped a 52-year-old guy named Michael achieve nearly 0% visceral fat in just 26 weeks. Yeah, 0%. So we're not talking about vague, fluffy fitness advice here. We are digging into a strict, mechanical blueprint for 2026 to attack stubborn fat from both sides. Meaning we're going to stop new fat storage in its tracks and totally burn away what's already there.
We've got a super clear roadmap today. We're covering the visceral fat danger. Rule 1, Japanese fasted walking. Rule 2, the gut fire protocol. Rule 3, double fasting. And finally, your daily fat melting routine. Stick around because we're giving you the whole blueprint.
All right, Section 1, the visceral fat danger. First things first, we absolutely need to know what villain we're actually fighting here.
So you know how most people think all belly fat is exactly the same? Well, it's really not. There is a profound biological difference between the fat you can physically pinch and the dangerous fat that you can't even see. Subcutaneous fat is that softer stuff right under your skin, around your belly, hips, and legs. But visceral fat? That is an invisible, silent killer. It wraps itself incredibly tightly around your vital organs. This means even if you look relatively skinny on the outside, you could still be walking around carrying a dangerous amount of visceral fat deep inside your abdomen.
To really grasp how dangerous this is, you've got to understand that visceral fat basically acts like a toxic sludge inside your body. Imagine having a permanently swollen knee. It's hot, it's inflamed, you're limping, it just doesn't work right. Well, visceral fat does that exact same thing, but to your pancreas, your intestines, and your heart. It's constantly pumping out these chemicals called cytokines, which completely disrupt how your organs are supposed to function. And worse, it drives severe insulin resistance. That means your body just stops using sugar correctly and locks it away as even more fat, driving this vicious, never-ending cycle of disease.
Moving on to Section 2, Rule 1, Japanese fasted walking. Now that we know what we're up against, let's look at a highly targeted walking technique that can literally double your results without adding any extra time to your day.
The data on this is wild. When you walk at a moderate pace, you are actually tapping into 70 to 80% of your energy directly from your fat stores. Now compare that to running, which only draws about 50% of its energy from fat. So walking is actually this precision tool that primarily melts visceral fat, and it does it without destroying your joints or sending your hunger spiking through the roof.
So here's your first real actionable metric. I want you to pull out your phone right now, open up your health app, and check your average daily step count. Whatever number you see there, you need to systematically add to it, maybe about 1,000 steps a day until you hit this magic daily range, 12,000 to 15,000 steps. That right there is your foundational baseline for fat loss.
But here's where we get really strategic. The secret sauce is how and when you get those steps. You want to aim to get about 60% of them done during a fasted morning walk. Basically, you wake up, pour yourself a black coffee, and you just get moving. Because you've been fasting all night, your liver glycogen is totally depleted, and your fat-storing hormone insulin is at rock bottom. So your body quite literally has no choice but to burn fat as its main fuel source, specifically targeting that dangerous visceral fat.
Let's break down how to turn this into an incredibly efficient 30-minute system. To really maximize that fasted window, you should use the Japanese walking interval technique, which was developed by researchers over at Shinsu University. It goes like this. Start with a 5-minute gentle warm-up. Then jump into 3 minutes of brisk walking. We're talking 70 to 80% of your max heart rate, where holding a conversation is pretty tough. Follow that immediately with 3 minutes of a moderate recovery walk. You just repeat that 3x3 cycle 5 times, and then finish up with a 5-minute cooldown. Not only does this absolutely torch visceral fat, but studies show it can actually boost your VO2 max by up to 15% and significantly shrink your waistline.
All right, Section 3, Rule 2, the gut fire protocol. Exercise is honestly just one part of the equation, right? We've got to fix what's happening in the kitchen to truly ignite your internal furnace. The absolute golden rule of fat loss here is controlling insulin, and that means dodging ultra-processed foods. Just think about the biological difference between eating a crisp apple and a handful of gummy candies. Sure, they both have sugar, but they are worlds apart. The apple is packed with dense fiber, meaning your body has to physically work to break it down. That releases the sugar nice and slowly, feeds your healthy gut bacteria, and keeps your insulin perfectly stable. The gummies, zero fiber. That sugar just dumps instantly into your bloodstream, creating this massive insulin spike that's followed by a horrible energy crash, which, let's be honest, just leaves you craving more junk.
To really supercharge this insulin control, you need to leverage two incredibly powerful fat-targeting drinks. First up is apple cider vinegar. Taking just 1 tablespoon in water right before your meals acts kind of like turning a raging fire hose into a calm, steady stream for your blood sugar. It slows down gastric emptying and activates AMPK. That's a metabolic switch that makes your cells highly sensitive to insulin. Drink number 2 is black green tea. It has this compound called EGCG, which seriously acts like a guided missile, specifically seeking out and targeting that visceral fat. You want to aim for 3 to 5 cups a day, completely black, to really see the benefits.
And to go along with those drinks, you definitely need to incorporate some specific gut fire foods into your meals. And look, this isn't just guesswork. MRI and CT scans actually prove that these foods trigger unique biochemical pathways that literally melt visceral fat. Wild-caught salmon is loaded with omega-3s that actively block fat-storing stress hormones. Greek yogurt, particularly the strains with Lactobacillus gasseri, has been shown to visibly reduce areas of visceral fat. Berries, like blueberries, give you antioxidants and fiber to fight off that internal inflammation we mentioned earlier. And chia seeds, they give you an amazing thermogenic effect because of their high protein and fiber, meaning your body burns calories just trying to digest them.
Next up, Section 4, Rule 3, Double Fasting. Because when you eat is just as important as what you eat. Let's look at the timing.
The research is super clear on this. Intermittent fasting is highly effective for stripping away visceral fat, and integrating a weekly 24-hour fast is actually way more manageable than it sounds. Check this out. You have your last meal at 8 p.m. on Sunday night. You literally sleep through the first 8 hours of it, you go about your normal Monday, and then at 8 p.m. you break your fast, ideally priming your stomach with that apple cider vinegar water first. Then the very next day you just slide right back into a standard 16-hour fasting schedule, eating from noon to 8 p.m. It's such a brilliant, low-friction way to hit a massive caloric deficit once a week.
But here's the thing, the perks of this 24-hour fast go way, way beyond just dropping calories. By giving your body a break from incoming food, you trigger a biological process called autophagy. Basically, your body acts like a cellular vacuum cleaner, sweeping up damaged and aging cells. It also dramatically boosts your human growth hormone, which is awesome because that preserves your muscle mass while you burn fat. And crucially, it starves out the bad bacteria in your gut, giving you a clean slate to repopulate your microbiome with the good stuff from foods like Greek yogurt. People who actually do this, like Michael's successful client Montino, report not just massive fat loss, but incredible surges in mental clarity and focus.
Finally, Section 5, your daily fat-melting routine. Let's take all this incredible biochemistry we just talked about and build it into a practical, everyday blueprint you can literally start tomorrow.
All right, here's exactly what your morning and lunch should look like. You wake up, grab that black coffee, and jump right into your Japanese fasted walking routine. Mid-morning, you sip a cup of black green tea to just keep that fat burning running in the background. Then at noon, you break your fast. Start with your apple cider vinegar and water, and follow it up with a meal that requires 0 cooking. High-protein blueberry overnight oats mixed with Greek yogurt and chia seeds. Perfect. Then for a later lunch, you hit those omega-3s and probiotics hard with wild-caught salmon wrapped in seaweed, packed with leafy greens and some kimchi. Your entire morning is just completely optimized for keeping insulin low and fat burning high.
Moving into the afternoon and evening, we just keep that momentum rolling. You have another couple cups of green tea and maybe a plain Greek yogurt snack if you need to keep that gut fire burning. Right before dinner, you take your second round of apple cider vinegar in water. And then for dinner, which absolutely must be finished before your 8 p.m. cutoff, you load up on thermogenic protein. Think scrambled whole eggs and egg whites, tossed with plenty of spinach and tomatoes. This setup is perfectly designed to ease you into an optimal overnight fast, letting your body rest, recover, and quietly burn fat the whole time you're sleeping.
Okay, you've got the exact blueprint now. You understand the very real danger of that invisible, toxic sludge we call visceral fat. And most importantly, you are armed with the 3 specific mechanical rules to completely destroy it. The Japanese fasted walking technique to torch it early, the gut fire foods and drinks to master your insulin, and the double fasting protocol to heal your cells from the inside out. The science is completely undeniable and the structure is laid right out for you. So the only question left to ask yourself right now is this: what are your health goals for 2026, and exactly how are you going to apply this blueprint to absolutely transform your life this year?